Welcome to the Canberra Cup, international men's volleyball at its best right here in the nation's capital at the AIS Stadium in Canberra. Today's match-up between Switzerland and New Zealand, this competition also involving Australia, who have advanced to the grand final, and the Australian Institute of Sport, who last week defeated New Zealand convincingly in 2 straight sets. As you can see there, both sets very similar. The AIS too good for New Zealand. That sends New Zealand into the bronze medal playoff match against Switzerland. The New Zealand lineup with me, Corey Banks. That lineup hasn't changed very much since 2 weeks ago.
No, same lineup this week. Grant Bindon there, the international player who will be moving to the States later on this year to take up a contract with one of the university teams.
Craig Waller as well, the number 10, the big outside hitter. Look out for him in this match. The Swiss team, well, they're all fired up. They've travelled a long way to come out here for the Canberra Cup. They don't want to go home in last place in this competition, so they'll be taking on the New Zealanders in a tough way. The same lineup again, Corey, so these two teams will know each other from preliminary rounds.
Captain Matthias Probst leading and also setting for them this set. Pascal Serex, their second setter. Got a fair bit of action in that game against the AIS. We'll see if he comes on again this evening.
So a strong squad looking to see if they maintain their rotations as they did during the early preliminary rounds. Immediately, we've got a net touch called against the Swiss. So New Zealand, this is the first game of the first set in this new format being used at international level. And New Zealand, with Vesti serving, have popped out to a 1-0 lead.
Great block there. Fraser Ritchie and Grant Bindon combining to deny the Swiss attack. Another point to New Zealand. Vesti go back to serve.
This format involves 2 games in each set, and each game is up to 21 points. New Zealand now with the advantage in the first game, and again a big block at the net. So New Zealand really dominating. The Swiss have not got past the block yet of the New Zealanders. So New Zealand again back with the serve. This time into the net with this new serving format. Every serve brings up a point. It's a rally point format. That brings up a free point to the Swiss and they get on the board. 3-1.
Nice swing there. Mike Ackerman going down the line from outside. The New Zealand captain brings up their 4th point.
So the winner of this match will take out the bronze medal in the inaugural Canberra Cup. Loser takes out 4th place.
Nice swing there. Olivia Konajcek hitting out at 2. Gets the point for the Swiss. Great set behind. Over the top of the outside block and too much for Fraser Ritchie to handle.
Vesti with the set.
Peter Viacek, son of the coach, Andre Viacek. Nice swing from outside. Only going up against one blocker.
So the Swiss back with the serve here. Looking to convert for a point. Vesti with the set.
Nice swing there from Craig Waller outside. Pushing that off Budasan's block.
5 points to 3 here to the New Zealanders. Just a standing float serve. Draws a bit of an error on the pass. Can the Swiss convert? They have. So a point to the Swiss and the serve is back with them.
Great swing from Pascal Serex hitting out at 2. As you can see there, Nicholas Pasquini in the front court. Pointing out the hitters, and that's an ace. Budasan gets the ace for the Swiss team. Easy points if you can get them.
Well, we saw last week, Corey, that the Swiss let the ball hit the ground too many times on the soft serve. They've got one back here today.
Nice swing. Mike Ackerman added 2. Captain leading from the front. As you can see his approach. One step back, comes in. Nice open shoulders and places the ball down the line.
Well, he was set up nicely by his setter, Vesti. A very sweet set of hands. Good control on the set. But a bad serve brings up a point for the Swiss and they have the serve back.
Claudio Semedeni, the libero player for the Swiss, currently on the back court. Nice swing out of the back court there. Left-hander Fraser Ritchie finding the court on the Swiss side of the net.
We're all square here at 7 points apiece. Corey, you might explain the libero player that's playing for the Swiss.
Yes, Claudio Simideni there wearing a distinctively different coloured jersey. It's only a defensive player that's allowed in the back court, cannot make an attacking move.
Well, this is a great rally, and the Swiss come up with it off an error at the net by the blockers for New Zealand.
Olivia Konajcek here coming out of the back court. Finds the hands of Vesti, and he drags the ball down on his side of the net.
Well, the Swiss getting pretty excited. They've got some support here tonight. They were missing that when they were playing against the AIS squads and the New Zealand squads earlier during the rounds of this tournament. But they've brought along a few Swiss supporters from Canberra. Let's see if that can lift their game.
Net touch called on the Swiss block. Konajcek there, just contacting the net. Nice swing from Mick Ackerman.
Of course, no part of the body may touch the net at any time. New Zealand with the serve.
Nice swing, good defence, but unable to control the hit from Nicola Pasquini there. He'll go back and have a serve for the Swiss supporters. Getting right behind their team here tonight.
9 points to 8. The Swiss are up. First game, first set.
Libero player on for New Zealand as well. Chris Anderson, nice block. Great block there. Philip Ryman getting both hands on the ball from Waller. Giving away about a foot in height, but still taking on the big man and putting the ball straight down.
Let's have a look at that again as the players go into their technical timeout as we hit 10 points in the first game. Vesti sets him up and straight into the block. Nice high, good reach.
Fraser Ritchie there finding the block. A bit disappointing.
Just make sure that number 3 is low seam, so you just make sure you get a good right and push in on him when he hits that D-ball.
Well, the Swiss are very pumped up out there. A few uni students amongst that lot, I think, out here in Canberra.
Mike Dudson giving you a few words of wisdom, the New Zealand team. Currently trailing by 2, the Swiss fighting back, 10-8.
Well, they've got the chant going for the Swiss, and I know there's a few New Zealanders out there supporting the Kiwi team as well. Back with the serve and the action here in the Canberra Cup. That's a good swing, so New Zealand pick up a point.
Well set up there for the New Zealand team. A great pass from Chris Anderson right on the net, nice and tight. Vesti with the quick set. It's put away.
Keep it alive.
Pasquini down the line. Budasam finding the block on the first play there from the Swiss. Then going the backcourt option.
Well, Pasquini, one of the players that we've profiled during this series, is certainly having a good match early. And again, an easy hit from the outside there. Not enough on the block. The defence of both teams let them down against Australia and the AIS, and we're seeing some easy conversions by both teams picking up points.
It's a great set there from Vesti using the quicker ball outside as a double hit's called on the Swiss setter. Must contact the ball cleanly.
Yeah, the referee calling that the hands did not connect with the ball simultaneously.
Great swing, Olivia Konajcek hitting out of position 2. As you can see, the set goes behind. Goes cross court through the gap in the block. He'll go back and serve for the Swiss.
Corey, both teams finding it easy to convert. The ball has come on the court and the referee have blown it up and said we'll have a replay. Corey, both teams are finding it easy to convert and to get the side out here. Against the Australians and the AIS, it was a much harder game for them.
Great swing there. Grant Bindon through the middle, latches onto that quick ball. 12 points all. Yes, these teams definitely closer and evenly matched. And with the side-out volleyball, with the rally point system, it will end up being reasonably close.
Well, neck and neck at the moment. The New Zealanders have the chance. They take it, convert it, and pick up a point.
Nick Maber there through the middle for the Kiwis. Did play in the Bundesliga last year in Germany. There's a timeout call from the Swiss team as we have a look at this again. Nick with the approach. Great timing. Latches onto the ball and puts it away. The Swiss supporters at it again. Both teams making their way back out on the court. It's a 30-second timeout, with the teams taking a technical timeout at 10 points. They only receive one other timeout in each game.
So an error by the New Zealanders off the serve, something you really can't afford to do after a timeout has been called. He subbed off the court, and a point to the Swiss, and the serve back with them. Again, just the single block there from the Swiss gives Craig Waller the easy outside hit, and he converts it.
Yes, Nicholas Pasquini just not even making an attempt to block there, not even moving outside. Makes it easy for Craig Waller.
We saw both the Australian team and the AIS team capitalise on the lack of blocking by both teams, New Zealand and Switzerland, at the net earlier in this competition. And that's continuing here, so neither team can afford to continue to make those sorts of errors at the net. The Swiss with the serve, and again a cheap point to New Zealand. So the error rate already sneaking into both teams' game here in the first game of the first set. Craig Waller, the number 10 for New Zealand, back with the jump serve. Pasquini with the hit, but a good block from New Zealand. So can the Swiss convert? Yes, they can. The referee's called that in.
Peter Viacek from the outside squares it all up at 15 points apiece.
Viacek with the serve.
Fraser Ritchie hitting off the top of the block.
And what does the ref call? That's gone out. So it's a point to the Swiss, and now both teams, New Zealand and Switzerland, have their libero players, their defensive players on court, wearing the distinctively white jerseys.
Great duck there. Olivia Konajcek getting out of the road of the ball. Mike Ackerman getting onto that one.
Just sailing into the crowd. So the Swiss not able to keep the ball in play. New Zealand pick up another point. As we explained before, the players wearing the white jerseys on the court cannot play an attacking shot. They can only play defensively.
Oh, he's hit the cover off that one. Nicholas Pasquini latching onto that quick ball. Moves Switzerland ahead by 1 point, 17-16.
The jump serve now. Nice and deep. Vesti with the set. And that's sailing out a couple of metres. So the Swiss giving up that. Not putting enough pressure on the New Zealanders.
Vesti back to serve for New Zealand.
Nice and deep, and it's an ace. The Swiss doing what they did a couple of weeks ago in failing to pick up the easy serves. It's in by a good foot. An error in the call by the Swiss front court. And that's come off the fingers of the New Zealanders, so it's a point back to the Swiss. 18 all square. This game is to 21 points. The winner must win by a margin of 2.
Nice high reach from Mike Ackerman.
Defence by Pasquini. And again by the Swiss, but it's sailed out just. So unlucky there for the Swiss.
Bindon powering that ball off the block through the middle. Gets the point.
And that's well and truly out. The referee hit no touch there, so we're all square again. The New Zealanders with the serve, 19 points apiece.
Touches have been called, signalled by both linespeople at that end of the court.
It has come off the New Zealand fingers.
Swiss supporters very happy with that call.
Cameron Olsen, the number 1 referee here. So a good chance for Switzerland. Can they capitalise? Good defence, but the ball, Pasquini just sending it too far wide into the crowd. 20-19 now to New Zealand. They have game point.
Great action there from Craig Waller.
Pressure's on the Swiss. Good block. Again, the New Zealanders keeping it alive. Vesti with the set. Waller comes around and hammers that ball to win the first game of the first set. The New Zealanders up 21 points to 19. Great work from Craig Waller.
Yes, Waller taking that first ball on the defence and then sliding around to finish it off for New Zealand. 21-19. Close as it gets with the 2-point advantage needed to win the game.
10 points to 6 to New Zealand in the second game of the first set. New Zealand looking very strong in this game. Of course, if they win this game, they win the set. If they lose it, we go to a tiebreaker, and the Swiss are back in it.
Budusan for the Swiss. Chris Anderson for New Zealand, the libero on.
And that ball's out by a couple of feet off the block. So Swiss coming back at New Zealand here with a point.
Knajcek doing well. Good clean action, getting some play off the block. And a point for the Swiss. Ackerman hitting over the top of the block.
Neither team converting, and that one sailing out. Craig Waller getting right out of the way of the ball as it sailed past him. So a point to New Zealand.
Olivia Knajcek there just going too deep. Sends Fraser Ritchie back to serve.
An error there, so a very cheap point to New Zealand. Passing has been the weakness of the Swiss team throughout this competition.
The block there from New Zealand. We had Craig Waller and Graham Bindon in the front court. Both over 2 metres tall. And there it is again. Graham Bindon at 2:05, denying the Swiss attack. Fraser Ritchie, the left-hander, to serve again.
And again, the New Zealanders too strong the net.
The roll shot from Pasquini comes up, trumps. He's pumped up, trying to get the rest of the team moving on. 1 point at a time.
Again, we've seen the libero player or the defensive player just not getting to the ball quick enough. It is that player's ball.
Mike Ackerman, the captain of the Kiwis, gets the kill out of 2. Bindon will go back to serve. Budusan moves to the bench as Claudio Simideni, the libero for Swiss, moves onto the court.
Budusan didn't look too happy with coming off.
Nice action. Peter Viacek. Great swing from outside. Still down by 5 points.
But they need to pick up some points here. With every serve bringing up a point, they can't afford to keep siding out. They need to win points off their own serve. Otherwise, New Zealand will capitalise on this game and take away the set. Again, the push shot there. Opportunity for New Zealand. A very soft shot, but good enough. It fooled the New Zealand players and fooled the Swiss.
So we watch Nick Maber here. 100% control, just tipping the ball over the block into the open court, and the desperate defence just not quick enough.
Again, the overpass from Switzerland. It's hurting them.
Punished by Nick Maber.
You can't afford to do that at this level of competition. This is international men's volleyball, and we're seeing some easy passes.
Great up in the back court from the captain. And Viacek finds the block. Maber and Bindon combining. 17-9.
Dominating at the net, New Zealand. Ackerman back with the serve. Captain for New Zealand. He'll be happy with the progress in this set. Free ball here for New Zealand, but the overpass again. Kept in play.
Vesty there contesting at the net. And Knajcek finds the very happy Kiwi block as the Kiwi supporters get behind their team. Mike Ackerman back to serve. Mike using his first service attempt there to slow the game down.
Well, they're in charge of this game, the New Zealanders, but they want to convert it to take out the first set. They'll want the bronze medal when they cross the Tasman again. 18-10 now to New Zealand. Good comeback from the Swiss.
Great swing there from the Swiss number 4, Vincent Richard. High action appreciated from the Switzerland supporters here this evening.
Waller deep into the backcourt, called in, so 19-10 as New Zealand edge towards another game and winning this first set.
Waller again left one-on-one outside. Some great setting from Simon Vesty, drawing the middle blocker in.
That's deep, so it gives up a point to the Swiss. Again, some errors creeping into both teams' game. 19-11, the New Zealanders can afford it, the Swiss can't. Pasquini, the go-to player so far for the Swiss with the serve. Great serve, brings up a point down the line, catches Fraser Ritchie napping, 12 points to 9.
Great action there from Nicholas Pasquini, getting the top spin on the serve. Unfortunately that time, a bit too much, gets the scud going over the baseline, brings up set point to New Zealand, 20-12, 8-point difference. Nick Maber to serve for the Kiwis, this for the game and the set.
Good control by the Swiss. Coming off the hands of the New Zealanders, so they're still in the game, but they are in real trouble at 13 points to 20. Every serve brings up another opportunity for the New Zealanders to convert the set.
Matthias Probst with the serve from the Swiss. Mike Ackerman, great swing down line, but unfortunately the Swiss defence unable to convert it. That's the first set to the Kiwis, taking it out 21-13.
So 21-19 in the first game, 21-13 as the New Zealanders improve. The Swiss make some errors. The New Zealanders up 1-0 here in the Canberra Cup. This week we have a look at Randall Appleby, playing for the AIS. He's from Australia. He stands at an even 2 metres tall. He played for the Brisbane Pirates in the Australian Volleyball League, and he's played 47 international matches for Australia.
When I was first in the national team back in 1995, I was actually the tallest at 2 metres, but nowadays I think I'm somewhere around the 5th. We've got one guy there by the name of Duck, Dan Howard. He's at 2 metres 10, and Shane Van Beeth is around 2 metres 8 as well. So it's obviously an advantage. I mean, it's a big man's game, volleyball nowadays, so it's a bonus to have him on our side. Well, for the side I play for, the Australian Institute of Sport team, it's a relatively young side, so in terms of what the Canberra Cup means for us, it's an opportunity to show the national coach, Stelio De Rocco, some of our skills, and it also gives us a chance to form a younger base to push the Australian team on to the next level and hopefully help them in their preparations towards World Championships in November in Japan. The Australian style of volleyball, we're definitely trying to develop our own unique style. I mean, the Asians have this style where they play a very much defence-orientated style of volleyball. The Europeans play a very much height and strength-dominated style. So we don't sort of want to try and copy any of those styles. We want to develop our own unique style of volleyball. As for what it is, we're not quite sure just yet, but we're working at it. Short term, I'd love to have a stint over in the Italian leagues or anywhere through the European League for that matter. It is one of the highest leagues in the world, and you need that competition week in, week out. There's some of the best competition in the world to aspire, but obviously the goal down the track is the year 2000 Olympics and hopefully a medal performance in the year 2000.
Randall Appleby there. Well, he may not know what the Australian style is, but it's beating some of the best in the world. France, USA, Canada, Slovenia. We've been knocking them all off, and a medal chance in 2000 is what it's all about for Stelio De Rocco, our head coach of the national team. But back to the action here, and the Swiss are again doing it tough against New Zealand in the first game. Here in the second set, the Swiss with the serve. Well, error there from the New Zealanders. A free ball for Switzerland. They need to convert these.
Great up from Chris Anderson.
Oh, reflexes almost paying off for Vesti. They reckon he's a bit slow in backcourt, but his reflexes were pretty strong there. Great hands from the setter.
Craig Waller coming out of the backcourt, finding the Swiss block.
Let's have a look at that again as we go into a timeout. There's the quick hand. Just sailing out, unfortunate for New Zealand.
Vesti always at the ready.
The Swiss are getting a little happy out there, I think. They're enjoying themselves. The New Zealanders, you can hear in the background as well, they're also going after the Swiss. Want the New Zealanders to convert. He's pretty happy. I think he knows he's on the screen. They'll develop a reputation, that group, I think. So back to the action here, 11 points to 10. New Zealand are up, but the Swiss have come back at them.
Nojek with the float serve.
Swiss must convert this game.
Fraser Ritchie, great swing from the left-hander outside, cutting inside the block, gets the side out in the point. Chris Anderson, the libero, moving to the bench.
So far, that's been the difference between the two teams, with a number of go-to players for New Zealand, but really on the Swiss team, there aren't that many. Pasquini, the number one, is really the main player here, and that's the second time in the rally they've gone to him, sending a pretty consistent message to the New Zealand block. If they see Pasquini, they go after him. Ackerman there in shot, so Pasquini back to serve for the Swiss.
When you get that sort of situation, that's when the setter has the block in their hands. The block starts committing in the middle. They go outside, they're left one-on-one. Ackerman getting touches off the block as he goes line. Coming out of the back court, he's catching the outside of the block. And Pasquini unable to pick it up.
Vesky with the serve for New Zealand. Swiss with the chance, but great blocking from New Zealand. Good reflexes from the Swiss, but they've called a double. A double on the set, meaning both hands did not connect with the ball simultaneously, and New Zealand pop out to a handy lead at 14-11.
Great block from the Kiwis, but a great pickup from Matthias Probst, the setter for the Swiss team. And there he is again, featuring in the play with the reverse dump. Sticks the one hand up and gets the flick off the wrist. He'll go back and have a serve for the Swiss. Chris Anderson there, trying to get the Kiwi boys running.
And an error from the Swiss. When they're that far down in this match, they can't afford to do that. They've done it in every game in this match. It's been a consistent factor in their game throughout the whole series.
Vincent Richards squeezes that one down the front of the block. We go to the net cam, coming off the hands and then unfortunately into the tape.
New Zealanders arriving just a fraction late there.
Ackerman getting touches off the block again. Smart hitting from the New Zealand captain.
16-13 now.
Bindon back to serve. Another service error. Both teams, you can't afford to do that in this sort of game.
Well, they're soft serves, Corey. They're not putting much power on them. They're not going very short with the service attempt. So they're just giving up points.
Overpass there from the Kiwis. A backcourt block called on Simon Vesty, the setter. Boris Lardy back to serve again for the Swiss.
So the crowd really now getting behind the Swiss, trying to get them back into this match.
Oh, great swing. Craig Waller outside, gets on top of that ball and plants it right in the middle of the Swiss court.
17-15 now to New Zealand. An opportunity for them to move towards the first game of the second set. Ackerman with the serve.
Probst goes behind to Pascal. Gets some play off the block. He'll go back and have a serve for the Swiss.
Cameron Olsen, the number one referee here. So the Swiss again with a service error. That makes it very hard for them. They can't win this match on side outs. They've got to convert points off their own serve. Well, they'll be going back to Switzerland in last place. Craig Waller with the serve. It's a better serve. Well
Great
converted
swing
by the Swiss.
Nicholas Pasquini running the B-ball through the middle. Thanks his setter.
18-17.
Nick Maber there, not very happy with his blocking performance.
This is where the Swiss need to tidy up their match play. Less errors. Come off the fingers, has it? No touch, says the referee. So a point to the Swiss. Finally converting off their own serve.
Nick Maber there showing his disagreement with the officials. Referee just asking him to quieten down and get on with the game. Kanai check to serve for the Swiss. Nice pick up there from Maber. And Fraser Ritchie finds the block of Nicholas Pasquini, combining with Matthias Probst, the shortest guy on the court. The Swiss fans very happy with the blocking power of the Swiss team.
Well, they've hit the lead at the right time of the game, 19-18, as they head New Zealand for the first time.
And again, the Swiss block, earning them another point.
Game point here for the Swiss, their first game point in the match. Heading New Zealand at the end of the first game of the second set. Good serve and defence, but just unfortunate. Couldn't control the ball, so they still have game point. This time with the advantage of receiving service.
Nick Maber there latching onto that ball through the middle.
Maber with the serve. Swiss with game point. Can they convert? Libero player keeping the ball alive. And that's enough for them. It's come off the block. So they've won the first game of the second set. A transformation by the Swiss team, who lost the second game in the first set by 8 points, winning the first game in the second set 21-19.
Swiss supporters getting in on the act as we come into the second game of the second set, enjoying a lead of 2 points. The Swiss team, but New Zealand all over the net, get a side out. Currently trailing by 1, 10 points to 9.
So the Swiss, who looked totally out of sorts in the first set, are now playing very strongly here in the second set. They need to convert this set, then win the tiebreaker to win the match.
Vincent Richard there finding the antenna outside the court. Substitution, Budasan coming on for Lardy. Boris moving to the bench. Looks like he's got a bit of a limp there. I think he was carrying an injury. Pasquini out of the back court, gets the kill. Coming off the New Zealand defence, unable to control it.
Nice height there from Pasquini. Not enough control in the defence by New Zealand, so a point to the Swiss. Going down to the wire here in this bronze medal match in the Canberra Cup. We're all squared up in the second game of the second set, 11 points apiece.
Great swing from the Kiwi captain, Mike Ackerman, cutting inside the block, going cross court, and getting the kill.
Fraser Ritchie with the serve for New Zealand. Libero keeping the ball alive. Swiss need to convert here. And it's a good conversion down the line.
Props going to Konajcek twice in that rally. First time New Zealand picking it up. The second time gets the kill. Budasan with the float serve down the line, just wide.
But yet bringing up another service error. And again, he'll be substituted off the court. It's a better serve from New Zealand. No one in the backcourt, no one home for New Zealand. So the Swiss staying in the game.
Great work there from the Swiss set as we have a look. He just missed it there. He actually had to turn his body face onto the net and then set over his left shoulder, getting the quick ball up for Pasquini.
Oh, well kept alive by New Zealand.
Yes, the Swiss attacked there, thinking the ball was down.
But they did convert, 14-12 now.
Just having to wait a while before they get their chance to celebrate.
The Swiss needing to win this game to send the match into a tiebreaker.
Great swing there from Ackerman outside.
Between the two blockers. Ackerman scores his first goal for the night. The number 11, the captain of the New Zealand team, back to serve.
Getting towards the end of this match. Bit of fatigue setting in. Ackerman there just using his first service attempt to taking a few deep breaths.
Didn't help him. Service error again here. Both New Zealand and Switzerland racking up a number of error stats off the serve. Bad pass from New Zealand. Converting into a point for the Swiss. So 16 points to 13 now. The Swiss have come out in this second set and are really showing what they're made of.
David Foster moving on for Fraser Ritchie after pushing that ball out of the court.
Good shot there as it come off its bat. It's in play. That's an ace for the Swiss. The float serve.
David Foster comes straight onto the court and an error. Not a good way to get back on the court.
So a timeout called here by the New Zealand coach.
Mike Dudson there, just with a few words of wisdom. Also Simon Kwan, the assistant coach.
Of course, New Zealand very keen to participate next year in the Australian Volleyball League. A number of the club teams from New Zealand bidding to participate, and their performances here show their depth, playing very strongly up against the strong Swiss squad.
Vesti goes to Ackerman again to get the points and the side out.
17-14 now to the Swiss. Good opportunity for Switzerland here. Craig Waller with the jump serve. Good control. Free ball here for Switzerland.
Vincent Richard with the hit outside. New Zealand defence popping it up, coming in contact with the antenna. Gets the point to the Swiss.
Pasquini with the jump serve. He already has a couple of aces to his name in this match.
Maber.
He's found the line.
Just called in from the linesman.
New Zealand still in the game. Maber back to serve. An overpass error again from the Swiss. So New Zealand coming back at the Swiss here.
Bindon there denying the Swiss setter any option of attack.
Timeout called, 16 points to 18. The New Zealanders looking to come back at the Swiss.
Vincent Richard there with the pass. Pasquini with the tip. Picked up by the New Zealand defence. Semedeni getting the pass in. Going outside. Vincent Richard hitting down the line, and that ball just grazing the antenna. Gives the point to the Swiss. Still with a lead of 2 points.
The Swiss having used up their timeouts now, 18 points to 16. Need to convert. Pasquini with the conversion and the point as they edge towards forcing this match into a tiebreaker, 19-16.
Straight through the hands of Grant Bindon. Pasquini out of the back court. Service error.
That ball didn't even reach the bottom of the net. 17-19, a cheap point, but an opportunity here to pick up a point off the serve of New Zealand. Can they side out? Free ball, and it's worked for them. An error from Switzerland, and yet come up with the point, and now they've got an opportunity to take out the set. Of course, if they win this set, as we've mentioned, we go into a tiebreaker. Big opportunity for the Swiss. Kept alive. Free ball to New Zealand to save the set. And they've done that. So the first set point saved. More to come for Switzerland.
Kiwis going to their captain, Mike Ackerman, outside on several occasions. The big hitter at the moment. Foster with that ball just creeping over the net.
It's a great serve under pressure. So another set point saved by New Zealand. 19-20. A remaining set point for Switzerland. Can they convert?
All they've got to do is side out.
And another great serve, and they've done it again. So 3 set points thrown away by the Swiss. We're all square here, 20 points apiece. The winner of this game must win by a margin of 2 points.
Foster getting back in the good books for New Zealand. 3 points in a row.
Good defence.
Great pickup as well.
Now the Swiss with the chance. And they've converted, so another set point. Number 4 for them. 21-20 with the serve. The Swiss getting very excitable in the stands.
Budusan with the serve.
Waller, the easy hit. Switzerland with the chance. Off the fingers, so they've won the game. They've won the second set. The Switzerland upsetting New Zealand, forcing this match into a tiebreaker.
Yes, we'll now move into a match tiebreaker. After New Zealand taking the first set 21-19, 21-13, Swiss fighting back. A close one, 21-19, and even closer, 22-20. Now it's first to 15 with a 2-point advantage.
So Switzerland fighting back. They've travelled a long way. They do not want to go home in 4th place. We're down to a tiebreaker. 1st to 15 by a margin of 2. New Zealand up 1-0.
Pasquini with the backcourt option. Ackerman getting some play off the block. They go to Pasquini again.
Good defensive play in the backcourt. And again, this is a great rally. Good defence by both teams. And again, the block, the work at the net from New Zealand, too strong. Ackerman, the captain, putting the ball away for the point, New Zealand.
Great block there from Waller and Ackerman, combining on Vincent Richard and pushing that ball back into the Swiss court.
Vesti with the serve, the New Zealand setter. Big swing, is it going to land in? No, just out, so Switzerland with the point.
Pasquini there asking for the wipers. A bit of perspiration on the court. Gets very slippery. The polished floor. Ackerman taking in the big ones. Words of wisdom to the rest of his team. Vincent Richard will go back and have a serve for the Swiss.
Safe serve from Vincent. Ackerman into the block, good enough to bring up a point. So the reach and just not, hands not over the net. Fraser Ritchie with the serve for New Zealand.
Great swing. Olivia Konajcek off the top of the block. Leaves the Swiss trailing by only 1 point now in this match tiebreaker. Do or die. Whoever takes this out wins the match.
And the bronze medal, of course, next week Australia plays the Australian Institute of Sport in the gold medal match. The AIS upsetting both New Zealand and Switzerland to progress into the grand final against the nation's best.
Great work from Pasquini, getting on the end of that quick ball around the New Zealand block. And the Swiss supporters again have something to cheer about.
Pasquini, certainly the go-to player for Switzerland. And that time, not reaching over the net, so Nick Mober gets the point. Back to New Zealand with the serve. Pasquini and shot. Ackerman, the captain for New Zealand, wanting to close this match out.
Pasquini finding the block again.
So the work rate from both teams at the net improving. 6 points to 3 now as we get a timeout here in the final for the bronze medal position in the Canberra Cup.
Yeah, it's just catching the tape there and the ball coming back onto the Swiss side of the court. Unfortunately, the defence unable to pick it up.
So the Swiss crowd in the background with the cowbells really trying to pump up their team.
With this match tiebreaker, a different format with the timeouts. There is no technical timeout when anyone reaches 10. Each team having 2 timeouts each of 30 seconds apiece.
The crowd support certainly with the Swiss. They come out, they're eager. The New Zealanders taking their time. Substitutions here for New Zealand. Vesti coming off, Foster coming on.
Foster coming on to block for this point. More than likely put Vesti back on if there is a side out to the Swiss.
Ackerman, the captain for New Zealand, serving. Nice set. Can the Swiss convert? Foster with the swing.
New Zealand team having to play without a setter as Vesti's on the bench. Bit of confusion.
So with the playmaker off court, the Swiss convert and pick up a point. Great block there at the net against Waller's hit.
Vesti moving back out on the court now for New Zealand.
Short serve. The big hit, has it come off the fingers? The referee says no, so it's a point to the Swiss. The New Zealanders don't like that call. Craig Waller asking the question of the referee. Got no support, so the Swiss again with the serve and the point, but throwing it away for a cheap point for New Zealand. 7-5 now, the New Zealanders winning this game to 15 points. The winner determines the bronze place position. Craig Waller with the jump serve, nice and deep.
Great swing. Vincent Richard outside. Threading that one through the New Zealand block.
Pasquini now back to serve. Substitution for Switzerland.
Budasan moving on for Boris Lardy.
Bit of tension out there amongst the New Zealanders, and again the service error. So both teams making the service errors, giving away cheap points as we change sides here in this, the tiebreaker of the match.
As this is the deciding set for the match, teams will change ends when they reach 8 points. So there's no advantage to any particular team.
Nick Maber back, ready to serve for New Zealand.
Referees will just check the rotations of both teams to ensure they're in the right positions.
Maber now ready to serve, waiting for the whistle from the referee. Still waiting for the second referee to confirm the rotations. All players must play in their rotation. They can't leave their rotation at any time during the game. Part of the teamwork and communication we hear so much of about this game.
Pasquini out of the back court.
Too strong. Straight through, and not enough time in the back court to keep that ball alive for New Zealand. So the Swiss looking good here.
Great swing there. Grant Binden. Once again coming through the middle for New Zealand. Vesti will go back and have a serve.
Opportunity for the Swiss. Taken as well. Great hit from the outside.
Vincent Richard, great play out of 2.
So both teams picking up their intensity as we close out this match. And that has just tagged the net. Unfortunately, their good serve. New Zealand up 10 points to 8. We're only going to 15 points, but we must have a margin of 2 points. The opportunity for the Swiss, and they've taken it. The block coming off the block and out of play against New Zealand, so point Switzerland.
Great swing from Kanajcek there, using the New Zealand block. Budasan with the float serve.
Nice short serve.
Craig Waller.
Too strong from the outside. One of the most experienced players on the court, showing it all there. So point New Zealand.
Last year, Waller getting the award for the best attacker at the Australian Championships and also at the New Zealand Championships. They go to Ackerman outside.
Well, the New Zealanders now really lifting the intensity. They're getting quite excited out there. 12 points to 9. They're 3 points away from taking away the bronze medal in the Canberra Cup as we get a timeout here at the AIS Stadium. Good defensive play there we can see in this replayed action. And coming off the block, and New Zealand picking up the point. As the coach talks to his chargers, tries to keep them revved up.
Mike Dudson there. The Kiwis get the call as they move out on the court. Mike saying we should be in there covering the soft option instead of worrying about the touches off the top of the block. Let's play it in shallow and pick up the balls that are just dribbling over the net.
12-9 to New Zealand. Swiss needing a side out. And they've got it there, so 10-12 now to the Swiss. Pasquini again, the go-to player.
Push that one off the block. Pascal with the serve.
The Swiss need to score points off their own serve if they're to stay in the match.
Waller again outside. The power hitter for New Zealand goes over the top of the block. Great height there from Craig Waller. And that ball just dropping in short of Richard Vincent, standing outside the baseline, just covering the touches off the top of the block.
Pasquini with the option, exactly what we heard the New Zealand coach ask his chargers to cover. They did, but the block was too big against Craig Waller. The Swiss coming back 11-13.
Great block. Kanajcek there getting both hands on that ball, putting it back in the face of Craig Waller.
Going down to the wire. We're one set apiece here. First to 15 wins if they've got a 2-point margin. The New Zealanders now have match point. 3 match points, 14-11.
Waller strikes back with a great swing on the combination play. He'll go back and serve for the match for New Zealand.
Big jump serve. Takes a bit off it. Keeps it in play.
Oh, Pasquini. He's taken the cover off that one, has planted it down New Zealand court. Takes away 1 match point, but it's still match point to the Kiwis.
And he's back to serve. So Pasquini with one of the plays of the day. Saves 1 match point. Can they save another? The referee says no, that's a point to New Zealand. They've taken out the bronze medal match here in Canberra. The Swiss go home in 4th place. The crowd recognising the efforts of both teams here in the Canberra Cup. Great work to New Zealand. So they've won this match in a tiebreaker, 15 points to 12, having lost the second set, winning the first set convincingly. Peter Mears courtside.
With me is the player of the match for New Zealand, Craig Waller. A great performance by the team tonight. You take the bronze medal, you must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, really enjoyed it, and obviously good to finish off on a high note. Yeah,
You've
very
had
pleasing.
some close ones with the Swiss, haven't you?
Yeah. The first game was the same situation, 2 sets to 1. So, yeah, it was pretty nail-biting on both of them.
I thought you and Simon Vesti combined very well. He sets well for you.
Oh, definitely. He's got great hands. He's not my club setter, so it's probably taken a couple of games to get it right, I think.
And you're the veteran of the side. At 31, you must feel like granddad.
That's right, yeah. First time. Yeah, so most of the boys are low 20s, so I'm quite a bit older than them, yeah.
Craig Waller, certainly the modest player on the New Zealand squad. Next week, we've got the gold medal playoff match. On the 5th of September at 5 p.m, Australia, surprisingly perhaps, taking on the Australian Institute of Sport in the grand final of the Canberra Cup. As we look at some of the action here today, Corey, really, the Swiss came back, but all too late against New Zealand.
Yes, the bronze medal match here tonight. The Swiss starting out rather slow, picking it up in the second set. So we see some great defence there from Kanajcek. Probs coming on only in the second half of the game.